The 25% doubloon coupon is coming in 3 days, or I would say 2 days, and you want to know which ship will give you the best bang for your buck, since we do have a lot of, I would say, premium ships in the armory, which I will show you. And as you can see, we do have quite a bunch of them, including some tier 10s that have recently gotten into the armory, which is nice, and some of the tier 7, tier 8 and tier 9s. Some of them are older, and also one thing that I have to say, that some of the ships that you might find it costing doubloons, you can actually get them for gold. So basically check out the doubloon ships and basically also look at the gold ships. For example, the Pommern, Z44, Marco Polo, Groningen, Carnot, Kearsarge, these are all available for gold. So do not think of buying these ships, okay? First of all, compare these ships, these doubloon ships, from the coal resource first, because most of them in the doubloon section you also can get them for coal. So why spending or kinda wasting your doubloons, whereas you can get for yourself a unique ship that is not available for coal, specifically for doubloons, okay? And in this video I will also gonna try to recommend a ship that is good for randoms. Okay, one ship that is really good for randoms, one ship that is really good for operations, and also one ship that is good for even ranked battles. So watch this video and you will get the best value premium ship and get the answer. So if you find this video useful and interesting, be sure to hit a like, subscribe to my channel, because I make daily World of Warship videos, give you guides, updates and even reviews related to the World of Warship itself. And let's start talking about it. And first ship that I will recommend you from the tier 8s, I'm gonna go to the tier 10 and I will be recommending that ship for specifically ranked battles, is going to be the Belfast 43 that is currently available right now in the armory. I think around 11,000 doubloons, and honestly this ship is amazing. Now the reason why I would recommend the Belfast 43 for the ranked battles, and it has very high value, are pretty much rely upon the consumables. The Belfast 43 has survivability with the help of short burst smoke generators, so you basically smoke and farm with the help of these smokes and with these guns. Okay, the guns DPM is decent, like so good, and sometimes people do not realize, and people love tier 8 mains. I have heard a lot of players that they do love this doubloon cruiser mains, which I think it's currently not available in the armory. I haven't seen the mains in the armory. If it does, I would recommend that. But look at the mains HEDPM 204k. Look at the Belfast 43 HEDPM 207k. Now the difference is obviously going to be from the raw penetration damage. You have better HE penetration on the I would say the mains compared to the Belfast 43. But what mains do not have compared to the Belfast is the radar. And radar is what counters DDs, and it counters DDs stupidly hard. And when I'm saying this, I mean it, because your concealment is amazing. You basically outspot pretty much almost all cruisers at tier 8, and even like higher tiers. You have so absurd concealment, and you have 9km radar. So if you know about the original Belfast, right, which is absurdly broken at tier 7, you get that tier 8 version with the torpedoes and short burst smoke generator, a couple of things here and there, but it's basically having the similarities which makes it really powerful. Especially with the buffs, it never used to have this DPM, guys. It used to be having worse DPM, less smokes, and well, it was okay with that bad reload time. Now with 8.5 seconds of reload time, it basically have this equivalent HE DPM numbers with mains. So that tells you a lot. And you set fires, really good fire chance, 12% if you build it, and it's a game changer, guys. I have won so many games with the Belfast 43, provided with the fact that you disengage with the help of short burst smokes, and you basically farm the battleships with these, okay? And then you have to kite away. You do not want to be spotted by a DD, which you won't be. Trust me, the DDs will not gonna touch you or hurt you at all whatsoever, because the moment the DD pushes you and spot you, you basically radar it. And he might be in bowing in condition. Most of the time, the DDs get completely off guard, caught off guard, completely, because of this stealthy radar. Like, the moment they spot you, your radar, you basically counter them, and you will be not going to get spotted by a battleship. It's impossible unless the battleship pushes at around your concealment, which you can always smoke up for yourself But the problem is, once your smoke runs out, that's where Belfast suffers. Okay, because your smoke is not long, so you won't be able to utilize it for long. But you do have the radar for your self-spotting if the battleship even pushes you and is kind of low HP, right? So there are so many things that you can utilize, and the Belfast do not need to eat any top. You have the hydro, and 33 seconds of radar is going to be good enough to counter DDs. And that's why I think this ship is really powerful. It's gonna counter DDs, cruisers, battleships very well. I have played it. I find out among all the other cruisers, you have more survivability with the smoke, and you have good DPM that makes it to the highest recommendation for a cruiser at tier 8. This is my highest levels of recommendation that I can do, and especially for the ranked. You can play it in randoms and it will work fine, but the ranked battles, it will do wonders. Maybe if you want to pick mains, I will go for the operations. Mains will be very much powerful in the operations because you have absurd AP DPM, which I love in the mains. Belfast cannot have that sort of experience with the AP. It's not like that. So maybe mains will be doing more powerful against broadside bots, whereas Belfast 43 will win you more games. So for me, this is one recommendation that I will do 100%. If you want to get the best value ship, and if you are a fan of light cruisers, smoking up, farming with HE shells, setting fires, this ship is for you. Absolutely great, worth it, 100%. Now, if you are a fan of operations and I would say PvP mood, or you can say you like to play asymmetric battles and you want to get amazing experience from a brawling battleship, I consider Navarin. But if you really ask me whether I should recommend that on randoms, I would say no. That is my personal opinion. I have really tough life playing Navarin because it does have some weaknesses and the guns are trollish. It does have 12 guns, not having the best sigma parameter which defines its accuracy. But oh boy, once you pick that ship in operations and utilize its very important gimmick, which is secondaries. The secondaries are completely absurd. They have so many shells that you throw out on a enemy ship, and you can utilize the secondaries so well, unlike in randoms, that it becomes my top recommendation if you want to get Russian experience with these secondaries. It's really, really nice, right? And you have the Kuznetsov. I don't think so the Kuznetsov will work in operations, but if it does, that's great, because you will have extra survivability once your HP goes below 10%. That's pretty nice, right? Yeah, it's unavailable in clan and training battles, so with the Kuznetsov, it's gonna be even more solid, and the guns will have insane punch. They can have a trollish dispersion, but you do not need to fear from the bots, right? The bots, most of the time, if you get a good angle against them, you will smash them if they are broadside. And that's where the guns are really good in terms of the penetration. It's just the dispersion that I have a complaint, specifically in randoms. In operations, they do wonders. And what really do wonders are these secondaries, man. Oh my god, these secondaries are hilariously powerful. You will have so much fun farming a battleship cruiser with these secondaries. I can't emphasize enough. And for operations, it's gonna be your top pick, man. There can be a Pommern. Pommern is available for coal, and it's a good like 380mm guns battleship without a doubt. 12 guns, once again, not that good accuracy, secondaries, all that stuff. You have the hydro. But Navarin just takes the secondaries to the next level because the sheer amount of volume and a lot of fire chance. Insane fire per minute, by the way. Insane fires that you can start. Like every single, I would say, minute you will have like gazillions amount of fires with the secondaries. Which I might not say that so much for Pommern. And that's why I love Navarin. I really love Navarin. You can see your secondaries have 10% fire chance. Like even your 18 secondaries that you throw, right? You do have so many secondaries, right? So you basically spew with insane fire chance. And that's why I love it. And this is really good for, I would say, brawling, PvP mood, operations, asymmetric battles. And the weakness is that you might have sort of a fear, at least for my fear of the Navarin, it's gonna be the armor plating. Armor plating is not that impressive considering it's Russian. It's not nowhere around the 60mm plating or even 40-50mm plating that I find on the Vladivostok. The Soviet Soyuz have like insane 60mm plating on deck. It's nowhere that, and your citadel is huge, very vulnerable. You take huge damage, but these are the things that are more prominent in randoms and less prominent for me at least in the, I would say, operations. And in operations, you just negate these factors with the help of simply good angling, and you can utilize almost all the time your secondaries, which is the fun factor that you can get from this battleship. And that's why I highly recommend the ship only specifically for PvP moods. Now if you want to get the best value in random battles, and again this is specifically for random battles, and I totally believe that Incheon takes the lead. There is also Monomoth, which if I show you, there it is. It's also available for doubloons, but the thing about the Monomoth is that even though the guns are amazing, it does have some unique aspect with the AP, very good shell velocity, improved pan angles like you find on Des Moines. But here's the thing, Incheon also have improved pan angles, and Des Moines guns, yes, they have far superior shells. 234mm guns are pretty powerful on Monomoth, but here's the problem. If you don't have that good experience, again, if you have not played open water and with really bad firing angles that Monomoths have, I would say go for the Incheon, because you will be saving yourself from that terrible firing angles, and you need a bit more experience as a cruiser player to speed juke and utilize its gun performance and all that. So Monomoth is a difficult ship to play, but it's very powerful. Without a doubt, you can make it work as good as Incheon. But Incheon, I would say, is an easier experience. And honestly, Incheon having Des Moines guns, and you can get that obviously some of the experience from the tier 10, I would say, American heavy cruiser Des Moines itself. Yes, that's right. But here's the thing, Incheon comes up with smoke, and since I can't show you the consumables, I will show you with the help of this website. And that's where things makes a huge difference, because you have Des Moines guns with smoke, okay? And also one thing that I would say maybe someone not realize, that Des Moines has cruiser dispersion. Okay, this Des Moines have cruiser dispersion, and notice that Incheon has slightly better horizontal and vertical dispersion. So if I basically increase the range, you can start to see some difference, right? Because Incheon has destroyer dispersion with Des Moines guns, slightly worse DPM, only because it has 8 guns instead of Des Moines 9 guns, but you get more accuracy in return, and you do have the torpedoes, right? And you have the smoke. This is the biggest thing. It's gonna be helping you a lot to farm damage. If you want to farm damage with Des Moines guns, this should be your pick. And I would say it's unique enough, even though it's still Des Moines guns, it's still unique enough that I would recommend that. I think, yes, there is a Jinan that exists, but I think Incheon feels like a bigger brother, and I would say Des Moines like ship with smoke. It's as simple as that. And if you want to get that experience with some torpedoes, not a whole lot of tops to be honest, only 4 of them on each side, but they do have decent range. So at least compared to the Monomoth, which have, I would say, maybe 10 km tops, maybe you have to check, yes. But if it does have 10 km tops, these are better tops, these are deep water tops, they have very good reaction time. You can make them work, and with the smoke, you can farm crazy damage, and it's very good for what it does. So if you are not into submarines, and obviously the Monomoth is a relatively difficult ship to play, the only option that you have at tier 10 for doubloons is going to be the Incheon. And if you want to get this ship in randoms, it's really good. In randoms, you will have really good experience, especially if you have a division destroyer player. So if you have some good coordination with your DD, you smoke up, you can farm so much damage. Obviously, there is a problem, which is the smoke firing penalty. It's 8.5. You have to really take that thing. So if you are aggressive player, and if you try to push into battleships and smoke up a lot, it can actually go bad because of your worse smoke firing detection. So this is something that you have to really careful of, and if you do that, I think it's an amazing cruiser. It's definitely going to be doing wonders. You will have so much advantage with the smoke with these Des Moines guns that it's definitely worth it for me. 100%, at least I will recommend you that in randoms. So those are the 3 ships that I will recommend. But if I have to go for honorable mentions, I have 2 key ships, okay? First is Sun Yat-sen at tier 9. It having Kremlin guns at lower tier, which is kind of absurd. Kremlin guns are amazing guns in the game, like stupidly good at lower tier. That is already tells a lot. And then you have Sovietsky Soyuz hull, so you get the benefit of Soviet tankiness which you get on Sun Yat-sen. So Kremlin guns, 6 of them, battle cruiser dispersion at tier 9, with obviously not super good range, but honestly with that much tankiness, I think this ship is really, really good. So if you want to get this ship is not bad investment on, I would say, randoms, and even in ranked battle it will do really well. But operations, I would definitely doubt that, because it does not have any secondary armament, and if you need that firepower, your firepower only relies on the guns, which are only 6 of them. And the problem with the Sun Yat-sen is, honestly, is gonna be the 6 guns phenomena. For me, it always have some wonkiness with its dispersion at ranges. Like, there is always some trollishness with 6 guns that I do kind of suffers with. I felt that to be a bit slightly problematic, but again, totally up to you. As a ship itself, as a performance that its Sun Yat-sen have, I think it's really good, right? It's really solid. It's just that you have to really consider the range, and that's it. And yeah, it does have defensive wave fire for some reason, but honestly, the entire defense numbers are pretty bad base, so it's not gonna change much, but still having something against carriers is still good, right? And the other ship that I would absolutely recommend as an honorable mention, in fact, if I have to recommend a tier 8 premium ship again, other than the Belfast, I have to really give credit to Admiral Grau. I know I have completely butchered the name, but honestly, the performance, the F key, again, it's a Pan-American cruiser, so it should have the F key, which it does, and it's kind of having the main battery reload booster slapped onto really average gun reload time. So what really means is you have to stay concealed, only have to stay unspotted, and you will have the F key ready. So it's like you load your reload booster sort of thing after some time. So basically it's a main battery reload booster, you just press the F key and you will get that insane reload boost buff, and that's where it shines. You do insane because of the F key, and you will load out quickly. If you use the islands as cover, for example, like if you are behind the island, chances are you will be concealed and you can still shoot the guns, and you will have the F key like cycling up really fast in this way. And that's how you can make the Admiral Grau even more powerful. But here's the thing, you don't have HP, right, that much HP, and you do not have heal. So the biggest problem with the Grau is that if you take damage, that's permanent, you don't heal back. Well, that's also with the Belfast 43, but you do have the smoke, so that gives super survivability over the Grau. However, if you hate carriers, if you want to make life miserable, and I'm not joking when I'm saying miserable for tier 8 and tier 6 carriers, and even tier 10 carriers that are average or even above average or below average, they hate you in the matchmaking. Why? You have tier 10 anti-defense numbers on tier 8 ship. Like, literally a tier 10 numbers. Like, if you go and check out the Wooster, it's a tier 10 American cruiser. You basically have comparable numbers with the medium range AA guns, and you also have, by the way, the defensive wave fire. So you just basically shit on carriers, like literally shit on carriers. And if that is something you want to have in your arsenal, and if you want to just spit on carriers that try to do something on me, like, do something. If you want to really do something, go and get me. Well, Grau is definitely gonna make life worse for carriers. I can tell you that it's absurd in that way. But the guns are really good, the concealment is really good, and overall the performance with the F key gets very nice. And I think I will recommend Grau absolutely. If there's no Belfast 43, that ship I will definitely going to recommend. Maybe not so in ranked. You can make it in ranked pretty much easily. It's pretty decent ship for ranked, but Belfast takes the lead, and that's why I have to give credit Belfast 43 more than this. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you get all the points, and these are my picks. As an 8 years of experience in this game, I think these ships are great. These ships are unique enough and powerful enough at the same time to be used in these game modes. So thank you guys, take care, and let me know in the comments what do you think for the upcoming coupon, Doubloon coupon. Peace out.